What's going on, all you movie lover badasses out there? Phat Samurai Guy here, and let's chit-chat a little bit on some movie news. Just a few things I want to talk about and bring up of some news that it's kind of been around at least for about a week and a half now. I haven't got a chance to talk about it with you guys until now, so let's go ahead and do this. First up, here we go again, Hollywood, man. Remakes, reboots, running out of ideas. This is nothing new. You guys know this, so. But you know, let's see what we got here. First up, let's get the good news out of the way. Let's get the good movie news out of the way. They have wrapped up and finished shooting Jeepers Creepers 3 for all you chainsaw maniacs out there. So I'm pleased with that. I'm happy with that. This is a franchise that I've always enjoyed. It was a grower though. I didn't really like Jeepers Creepers right away. When I first seen the first one back in the day, I didn't really like it. I liked parts of it, but I thought it was kind of cheesy. And then I had really extremely low expectations for the second movie, and I ended up really liking the second movie. And people don't like the second movie. They don't. That's fine, to each his own, but they don't like the second movie. But I, had really low expectations when I watched it, and I viewed it as another creature feature type film, and that was it. I wasn't expecting Oscar caliber acting and script here, but what it gave me was fun. I mean, the creature itself had a lot more fun in this one than he did in the first one, and I just loved the way he was fucking with the students, the high school students. It was just, I was dying laughing. Okay, put it that way. Then, months later, I went back to revisit the first Jeepers Creepers, and I ended up liking it a lot more. Yeah, there's some cheesy moments. Yeah, there's some moments that don't work. But overall, I liked it a lot more. I appreciated it a lot more than when I first saw it. So, for years have gone by, and all I heard was they've been wanting to do a Jeepers Creepers 3 for a really long time. And finally, it's been greenlit, and, they finally finished, wrapping up the filming, so that's a good sign. That's a good sign. So this is definitely a franchise that, why not? Fuck it. Might as well make another one. Now, I don't know about Jeepers Creepers 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, but in terms of a trilogy, why not? Let's have some fun. So hopefully it's cool, it's badass, and I'm looking forward to that. Now we have the sequel to Jurassic World, the huge summer blockbuster smash that came out a while back, and we got the sequel coming up, and now it has been announced that Jeff Goldblum might be a part of the sequel. And I say, why not? It's gonna ruin my childhood. No, it's not one of those things. We can do whatever the fuck we want now, so I say, why not? It's not gonna really hurt the movie, but then again, it depends on the script. Hopefully the script isn't garbage for Jeff Goldblum, but yeah, I mean, Jeff Goldblum's the man. He really took over the franchise. He was in the first Jurassic Park. Sam Neill was really kind of the star, but Jeff Goldblum's character really stood out in the first Jurassic Park, and then they brought him back, and he was kind of like the lead in the Lost World, but he didn't return in the third film. Sam Neill came back for the third movie. So, fuck it. Why not? I think it'll be fun to see him there. Hopefully they don't kill him off. Don't kill off Jeff Goldblum, okay? Hopefully they give him a decent, respectable, meaty role. Okay, not just a pointless cameo. Hopefully they give him something cool to do. And why not at this point? I mean, he already starred in The Lost World, so, we can only go up from there. I like The Lost World. The Lost World has some cool things in it, but overall, all of these movies kind of even Jurassic World, in my opinion, as popcorn, turn your brain off fun that Jurassic World was, it still pales in comparison to the original first and the best Jurassic Park. So Jeff Goldblum showing up, I don't really mind that much. And now for the shit. Hold on. I need my fuel. Oh yeah, baby. Got some Blue Moon. Get that Blue Moon in me. Oh yeah. Austin Powers 4. Really? Like, who asked for Austin Powers 4? Really? Like, I know, Myers wants to do it. He's really excited to do it. Now, I don't know if this has been double confirmed and it's been greenlit and they are doing it, but he's really excited to do it, and the buzz is going around. That's why I wanted to talk about it right now, and I think this is a horrible idea. We don't need an Austin Powers 4. Now, it's been years since I've seen the first 3 films. When the first one came out, it wasn't a big, huge hit right away. It kind of took people off guard. They didn't know what to make of it, and then finally it became this big phenomenon. The first one I remember being damn funny. With all comedies, not all of the jokes are going to hit, but I remember enjoying the first one a lot more than 2 and 3. 2 was fine for what it was. It was fun, and 3 had that great opening. Credit sequence or action sequence with Tom Cruise and all that. That was Kevin Spacey playing Dr. Evil. That was hilarious. It was damn funny. The rest of the movie was fine. They were fun sequels, but they weren't memorable. But the first one, I mean, they made that, and I don't think anybody knew at the time if they were going to do this big, huge franchise. So the first one had a beginning, had an ending, and that was it. But it was fun. The first one I still consider to be the best out of the 3. We do not need a 4. There's no market for Austin Powers now, except for old fogies like me. But I'm really not that interested. I mean, Myers hasn't really been funny in a while. I mean, does anybody remember The Love Guru? I mean, it's been a while, you know, so I don't know. Anything's possible. It can be funny. Anything is possible, but I just don't see, you know, I see another Zoolander 2. I see one of those movies where it was a cult classic the first time around and people always wanted a sequel kind of thing, and they got their sequel many years later and it ended up sucking. So this one, you know, I kind of consider it the same. You know, if anybody was out there that really wanted a sequel, there's a very good chance, you know, it's past its time. You know, I just don't see it working. I don't see, I mean, what is he going to spoof? Jason Bourne? I mean, what is he really going to spoof now? You know, with the whole spy aspect. I mean, I don't know. I just don't see it working. I think it's a horrible idea. Next up is the remake of The Beastmaster. If you're a child of the 80s, okay, or a product of the 80s, you know about The Beastmaster. The Beastmaster was a fun, low-budget fantasy sword and sorcery flick, and it was fun. It's still fun. I still enjoy that movie today. I'm not going to mention the sequels. I'm not going to talk about the sequels. But the first one, if you're a child of the 80s, you remember The Beastmaster pretty fondly. It was a simple tale. You got our hero, he's with the hot chick, he's got the sidekick, faces the evil sorcerer and his minions. And the Beastmaster, not only was he a badass with the sword and weapons, but he had the ability to control animals and use them to attack the bad guys, which was kind of fun. No one is asking for a remake or reboot. I don't give a fuck. Nobody's asking. There's no market for the Beastmaster, okay? If anybody out there, you know, product of the 80s, maybe they might remember the Beastmaster, but there's no guarantee that today's audience, you know, would even give a shit about the Beastmaster. Obviously, you know, today's audience, the younglings, they don't know anything about the damn Beastmaster, but he's going off, Tim Burton's going off saying, oh, we're not going to have all this CGI, we're going to go back to practical effects, and I think that's cool. And he seems very enthusiastic about this project, and I'm just like, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And some of the ideas of the cast that was going out of who they wanted to play who, there's rumors that our hero might be played by Jai Courtney, and I'm just like, oh my God. No. I enjoyed Jai Courtney in Suicide Squad as Captain Boomerang, okay? That was his best role in his whole career, all right? But just, no, I don't want to see Jai Courtney as a hero, okay? I don't want to see Jai Courtney talking to the animals, okay? I just don't want to see it, all right? And the hot chick that was in the movie going to be played none other than Scarlett Johansson, because apparently there's no other talented hot actresses in Hollywood. Don't get me wrong. I like Scarlett Johansson. She's attractive to look at. She's talented. I like her as Black Widow. But fuck! Can we have somebody else play other roles, please? Does every female have to be Scarlett Johansson? This sounds like a nightmare. This sounds like a disaster. You know what I'm seeing? I am seeing the really bad Conan the Barbarian reboot starring Jason Momoa, okay? And I like Jason Momoa. I'm a fan, okay? He's a badass. But that movie was shit. That movie was a disgrace to Conan the Barbarian. I don't care. The comic book, the books, okay? The original Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. I mean, as cheesy and as campy as Conan the Destroyer was, this was way way worse. Okay, this reboot starring Jason Momoa was garbage. I mean, it was just edited to shit. You know, you never know. Me and Lady Fat Blood might do a review just for you guys. But it was terrible. The best part of the film was the opening action sequence when you got young little Conan being tested and he has to win this trial. And he came back to the camp with, you know, a handful of decapitated heads. And I was like, okay, this is awesome. And then after that, everything went to shit. But that's what I see. I see a generic, run-of-the-mill, sword and sorcery, you know, type of film. That's what I see. And with Tim Burton attached to it, it may not look generic or as bland as the Conan the Barbarian reboot. But it'll probably be a lot more bigger budgeted because it's Tim Burton involved. But I just don't see anybody giving a shit. I don't see it being a good movie at all. Anything's possible, but I just don't see it. And even though Tim Burton in a way is a product of the 80s, he doesn't need to create and make 80s type of films or try to bring 80s cinema back or try to bring the 80s movies back. That's not what he's known for. He's known for making original work. Well, not recently, but Tim Burton's movies are a hit or a miss. But from the 80s to the early 90s, I mean, the guy could not make a bad film. So, but why was that? Because it had his own original stamp on it. No other directors around at the time were making movies that looked, sounded, had that distinct style that Tim Burton had, and that's why Tim Burton's filmography, a lot of them, not all of them, were special films. But in terms of remaking something and rebooting, he hasn't had a good track record. I mean, does anybody remember Planet of the Apes? And now, let me get another swig here, let me get another one. Stretch the neck, flex the muscles. All right, here we go. I like the original Masters of the Universe movie. I know. All my credibility is probably by now, just for saying that, okay? But hear me out, okay? I enjoy the film as a guilty pleasure only. I know it's bad. The one that came out in the 80s, starring Dolph Lundgren, I know it's bad. I know it's basically a Star Wars ripoff. I think I would have enjoyed the film a lot more if, as a child, because I loved the Masters of the Universe cartoon, man. I was a big, huge He-Man versus Skeletor fan, okay? I had the little toys, the Castle Grayskull. I was huge fan of the cartoon. Somehow I missed the Masters of the Universe movie that came out in theater, and I don't know how that happened. But I ended up not seeing it, and I ended up watching it on TV as I got a little bit older as a teenager, and I was just watching this, and I was like, man, this is bad. This is so cheesy. This looks like Star Wars ripoff. But then, you know, I was always a fan of Dolph Lundgren, so yeah, at the time, a lot of people make fun of Dolph Lundgren's acting, but he was really new. I mean, Rocky IV was really his first big role. He hasn't had a lot of acting roles to help him become a more seasoned actor like he is now. So I know a lot of people kind of make fun of him at the time where him playing He-Man, but look at his body. Nobody else could have played He-Man in the 80s, okay? As much as I love Arnold Schwarzenegger, the guy's played Conan twice. Well, a bootleg Conan if you count Red Sonja, but he's already done the fantasy sword and sorcerer thing, okay? And can you imagine Arnold saying, you know, by the power of Grayskull, that accent? It'd be too funny. So nobody else could have played it but Dolph, okay? He had the look, he had the physique, the hair, okay? Physically, he was fine, okay? But the movie was low budget, all right? And they really couldn't have done a lot. I mean, that's why majority of that movie took place on Earth and not in Eternia, because of the budget. They just didn't have it. While watching the film as a teenager, I was just like shaking my head like, oh man, this is so cheesy. But yeah, I get to see Dolph Lundgren. One thing stood out and made the movie a guilty pleasure for me and made the movie awesome to watch every single time, okay? And that's Frank Langella as fucking Skeletor, okay? That voice. Frank Langella was a damn pimp in that movie. That voice that he had, pretty decent skull mask they gave him, and that transformation at the end of the film where he became almost like a Mandarin type of Skeletor with the gold outfit. I love it. I dug it. I know the movie's bad. I know it's cheesy, but holy shit, man. Frank Langella, to me, Frank Langella saves that movie. Now, for years, there's always been talk of remaking or rebooting Masters of the Universe today. Never happened. Hollywood has avoided it until now. Apparently, Mick G, one of the greatest directors of all time, that has directed the Charlie's Angels films and Terminator Salvation. Wink, wink. He, for some reason, was really passionate about bringing that world to the big screen, and he was really attached to the project. He was really trying to get it going, and then something happened, and it just didn't work out, and now he's fallen off the wagon, so we don't have, as of right now, we don't have a director attached to Masters of the Universe. But the possibility of it being made now is pretty close. I mean, at least 80% that it's a chance that this film might come out. They even have a release date of 2019. Now, with today's special effects, to do the city of Eternia and to do Snake Mountain and all those classic locations can easily be done. The weapons, the armor, the whole entire world, the universe, the creatures, the effects, makeup. But here's the problem. Just like Beastmaster, there's no market for Masters of the Universe today. There's no brand new successful cartoon that's playing right now. There's no re-release of the toys. I mean, the collectors are up there buying the toys and these new versions of the toys that are being released. That's different. There's collectors like me that go out and buy stuff like that. But in terms of you seeing He-Man and Masters of the Universe toys everywhere, Toys R Us and everywhere, Walmart, you're just not seeing it. There's no merchandise right now. There's nothing out there that you would think to let Hollywood know, hey, this is actually doing successful right now. Let's make a movie. But for some reason, there's already a release date for 2019, which we know could always change. So technology-wise, it could be done. Who could star as He-Man today? I don't know. I have no idea who could be Man-at-Arms, Teela, Skeletor. You can have anybody in there. But that's my issue, is that there's no market. So it's going to be a huge risk. So can a new Masters of the Universe movie be done and be successful? Yes, look at Guardians of the Galaxy. Nobody knew who the fuck those characters were. Nobody knew anything about the comic books except the fans of the comics, and it was one of the biggest summer blockbusters of that year. And we got a sequel coming out in a couple of days, all right? So look at that as an example. Anything can be done. Okay, they can reintroduce these characters and kids can be like, holy shit, this is awesome, this is really cool, and go out and buy the shirts and the merchandise. But see, what's the tone gonna be? Are they gonna try to make it more serious, more dark, violent? I would prefer that dark, violent version of He-Man. We don't know what kind of version they're trying to do. Obviously, if they're gonna make money, if they wanna make money, obviously they're probably gonna keep it PG-13. So this would be a really huge risk. So this movie has to be fan-bloody-tastic. I mean, this has to be an amazing fantasy. Everyone could go see this movie, have a blast. Kids are going out and running across the street to Toys R Us and buying He-Man swords. I mean, it really has to be that great, and I just do not have the faith in Hollywood to do it that well. I mean, look who was once attached to the project, Mick fucking G, okay? And David S. Goyer, I think, might be attached to write the movie, which, it's fallen here. The points are falling here. David S. Goyer is a very talented writer, but he's hit and miss. He wrote Blade 1, he wrote Blade 2, and then he wrote Blade Trinity. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, he did the Dark Knight trilogy, but look what happened. He wrote Batman Begins, and The Dark Knight, and then The Dark Knight Rises. And I was entertained by The Dark Knight Rises. I like The Dark Knight Rises, but a lot of people think that that's the weakest entry in the trilogy. So he's very hit and miss. So you don't know which David S. Goyer you're gonna get. And if, all of you out there that hate Batman v Superman, they get David S. Goyer. So I don't have faith in this Beastmaster remake. I don't have faith in this Masters of the Universe remake. Pumped about Jeepers Creepers 3. Don't give a shit about Austin Powers 4. And fingers crossed for at least another turn your brain off, put popcorn in your face, Jurassic World 2. So that's it for today's video. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of all this movie news, all these reboots and remakes and sequels. Let me know what you think could actually work. Let me know who you think would play a good Beastmaster or who could play a really good He-Man. Who could play a badass Skeletor? Tom Hardy? I don't know. And as always, thanks again for watching. You guys rock. Cheers. I see you guys next time.
Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe.